Hey, what is happening, you bumbling masculine? So the EUIC, the European International Championships, has begun, and day one is already in the books. I watched it live over on my stream, doing a sort of watch party type thing the other day. If you guys want to tune into the next 2 days of competition with me, be sure to go check out the live stream, twitch.tv/AzulGG. The next 2 days of competition will be starting up at midnight tonight, and then 1 a.m. on Sunday, PST time. So you have to switch that around for whatever time zone you're in, but that's when the next 2 days of competition will be starting. But like I said, I already watched all of day one and reacted to that live, so I'm going to bring you guys some of those rounds here on this YouTube channel of my live reactions to that gameplay, and then also be posting the rest of them over on my secondary YouTube channel. I'll leave a link up here. There'll be a link in the description for the secondary YouTube channel as well, so if you enjoy these type of videos and you want to see more, be sure to go subscribe to the secondary YouTube channel, where I'll be posting the rest of the rounds that I reacted to live. Let's go ahead, let's take a look at this first round. Urshifu versus Urshifu. Different builds though, different engines. Toward Reklev versus Magnus. Let's get into it.
All over the place so that you can cherry pick at the
all right,
right
Sabal, Drizile, 2 evolution incense. It's not too bad. It always hurts to prize the Sabal, and if Tord is still playing if Tord is still playing the 3 Driziles, then that hurts as well a little bit for sure. That hurts a little bit as well.
Are quite happy to see, although it is quite a lot of your consistency. 2 evolution incense and Drizile all in one place is a little bit awkward, but as soon as he starts taking those prizes early on, he'll be having great access to some of his Inteleon engine, which is a big part of his deck.
And like you said, he does have that card.
Alright, let's peep those Magnus prizes. The mustard, a grass. Oh, he's got the Mew.
How many mustard have we got in
We got 3 single strike mustards.
Okay, so that's not too bad.
The only thing that could hurt is maybe the Raihan if they only play 1. It's in the last, in the bottom.
Awkward for them right now. So I guess that means that our players are going to be ready momentarily to kick things off.
Training core in the, like, yeah, it looks fine though, both sides. The Raihan could be the biggest. I think it's like maybe the biggest thing prize if there's only 1 Raihan on Magnus's list.
These players are both just also raring to go here. Both calm. They've both been on stream many times before and have played many a high-end tournament. But here we are getting ready to start off this first.
Also on the table, they also need to put like the prize cards on the left and the deck on the right. They need to fix that as well.
It's been.
I mean, at least they're letting Magnus put their deck on the right side, because usually when they have the table where both prizes are on the same side, they make the player like they make Magnus play with it on the left hand side. Ideally, they would have it like both ways, because some people are left-handed, but.
Absolutely. So it does seem like we are now kicking off the game. We've got the top-down camera going on here, and it looks like are we going to see some active Pokemon? We see the fist bump.
All right, here we go. Looks like who's going first? Oh, there's the Meow too.
And we are rolling.
So Magnus first.
Here we go.
As the Urshifu has the Ultra Ball.
And a Sobel's not a bad starter there for Tord, because Sobel gets more Sobel.
Yeah, exactly. Keep calling is a huge part.
So Magnus can get the Arceus down turn 1 here, and that's probably what they're gonna go for.
But Magnus isn't too unhappy about
losing the choice battle feels pretty bad though, because I mean, I guess you're probably not gonna get the boss turn 2 KO anyways.
First to try and establish that Arceus V as quickly as possible, get some energy attached, as we are going to see an opening search here. For Magnus, so far he only sees a Sobel, and that could be a huge myriad of decks. The Inteleon engine is in so many different.
Oh, is that? Oh, he actually has to go Crobat. There's not actually any cards in the hand here for Magnus.
In his first turn.
But Ken just set up for a turn 2 GMAX Rapid Flow, to be honest, and that's probably gonna be pretty
looks like going for Crobat here.
pretty detrimental, especially with Tord prizing a Sobel. If Magnus just KOs double Sobel next turn, that's gonna be a pretty big deal.
That could have got him a supporter card if he wanted one. Could have gone and seen that Arceus V straight away. Because Arceus V Star is an evolution Pokemon. You need to evolve 1 time. But then you've got the attack that doesn't just accelerate energy. It does 200 damage. You've got that V Star power that lets you search out any 2 cards. So there is a huge difference. If you can get an Arceus V with an energy on.
I'm going to go Ursh Training Court Bat for some.
Arceus can go off double turbo energy, search out any 2 cards, which of course you can search out the double turbo energy.
That for 4.
Star power. And, you know, if Tord's got something like a Sobel out, Magnus could just take a KO, accelerate energy. You're ahead on prizes. You've got a bunch of energy on the field. You're set up at that point. But it looks like we do have Luminion.
Is there an Arceus or no?
So,
I don't see an Arceus. Oh, didn't play the training court. Interesting.
So of course, going to be holding that Luminion.
I just need to turn the lights back on.
Double turbo energy to rapid. It's a really awkward attachment. Doesn't do too much for.
They should. I think Magnus should have put the training court in play. Oh, they're still not going to put it in play.
So a bit of a risk from Magnus there, not content to just take an Arceus.
Why is Magnus so much want to hold that training court? That's interesting.
Available. At the very least, he'll be looking to get energy attachment to his own Sobble here to keep calling, but we are going to see an opening deck search here.
Yeah, we got an energy.
Why is Magnus so concerned with not putting the what's it called in play there? That was interesting to not play the training court there and not get the extra card, and just also not attach to Urshifu. Now you just can't G-Max Rapid Flow next turn. It's also possible Magnus doesn't play DTE though. To be honest, it's possible Magnus doesn't play DTE or not DTE. Rapid Strike Energy, so they wouldn't be able to anyways. Yeah, the lights just went off. Concerned of path? I guess. I get like that would be the only thing to be concerned about, but you're literally using your Crobat to try and like draw. Like it's not like you're literally using Crobat that turn to see draw power, and also, oh, I guess I mean at this point it's fine, but you're using Crobat initially to see more draw power, right? So I would have played like because you're using the Crobat now, you're not bumping path to then use your Crobat, you know. I would like to have I would just like draw the extra card. You definitely want to set up an Arceus turn too. Now there's just like no Arceus here, right?
It's going to take a Dark Energy here. It's a great one to get in circulation because you are an archetype that
Thor plays Manaphy? Probably not, but they maybe because now there's more Urshifus.
On the board and in the discard pile even for the likes of Clara. So always great to start out with Dark Energy being searched, and we'll see if he has any other actions here beyond Keep Calling. And it looks like he's going to be shuffling up, so at least it means he has more things to do here.
Yeah, that's going
to go to Keep Calling probably.
You know, like you say, you're talking about a setup deck. You want to try and get as much going as we can.
Oh, look at the whole squad.
Remoraid and the Urshifu. That is a huge start. He's not going to go complete full board because he does have one Sobble in those prize cards, but this is a really great opener.
I mean, Tor's still going to get a full board here. We're going to see Sobble, Urshifu probably.
Such a powerful card that he can take advantage of here.
Voice spell on the Ursh. Sure.
The likes of Rapid Strike Energy, your VMAX, and even parts of the Inteleon engine.
Okay. There was no choice spell on Robin's list, right?
Yeah, and like we say, starting with that Sobble.
Yeah, so it is just like the Urshi Dark Box deck. Yeah, Ursh, Sobble. And Magnus, I mean, the only thing Magnus can do here is Gale Thrust now. Looking at Gale Thrust. I mean, you can still attach the energy, though. I'm talking about playing the training court before you Crobat. None of those plays are relevant to just like doing that to get the extra card.
Pokemon in your deck like Tord has, it turns into a real sneaky nice advantage.
Yeah, and Tord only did a couple actions there. He benched a couple Pokemon, got an energy down, but that's the power of the Keep Calling from Sobble. He is basically ready to go for next turn as long as he has some playable cards. He didn't use a supporter on turn 1. But
yeah, so we can see Gale Thrust from Magnus, but that's literally all Magnus can do unless Magnus like plays.
Stuff like that.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's all Magnus could do here.
Throughout the rest of the game.
Would be a Gale Thrust.
So a good turn from Tord. We pass back over to Magnus.
What is that Pokemon? Gold Ursh, okay. So has the Ursh, can pull off a Gale Thrust.
Urshifu VMAX, that lovely gold version. And it seems like, you know, like we said, we've got an Ultra Ball in hand. We've got Luminium, which can search out a supporter. So there are definitely options in the hand. We've got that.
I mean, you can't get. No, I guess you could get. You could get. What's it called the next turn? You could get G-Max Rapid Flow next turn if you take a KO yourself.
Just thinking, right, what's the best way round to do this?
I feel like Magnus had to try and more aggressively try and set up the. That's what I'm saying. Like setting up the what's it called? The turn 2 Arceus is like just. I feel like such a big deal. I feel like it's such a big deal. That looks really heavy on the Mews. There's at least 3 Mew in Magnus's deck. The item finding Mew.
Dunsparce in Magnus's list, so he's just going to go ahead and grab a Bidoof here. He plays a.
We might just see a Gale Thrust then for Magnus this turn. Just training court that, and then you have the B-Barrel for next turn.
Early on is not a bad thing here, so he may go ahead and use the Luminion now.
Oh no, we're going back in. Okay.
He does have Bibarel.
Magnus's bench is almost filled. Going for the boss. Okay, so might chase Remoraid or might just punch an Urshifu. And then has the B-Barrel as follow-up draw support.
But there's a lot of different options.
Yeah, I didn't see a Rapid Strike energy in there either. That's why it's that much more important. I feel like to set up the Arceus turn 1, like to get a turn 2 Arceus attack off. It feels like it's that much more important.
Basically, just forced Tord to have more things. Now he's not just got to get his evolutions and his energy.
I'm curious if he goes for a punch or a KO on the Remoraid, because Remoraid's super important. Like artillery is like a pretty big deal for Tord.
More awkward for your opponent.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any energy. Oh, there is a training court in Magnus's hand, so he can go ahead and grab a fighting energy from his discard pile here. So he could just launch a Gale Thrust this turn and try and get some.
There's so much junk on Magnus's board though. Like he's like set up to get Yoga looped. Magnus is asking to get Yoga looped.
From the bench on their own turn, so trying to trap towards Urshifu.
So it just goes after the Ursh, okay.
And that air balloon that gives free retreat to that Galarian Meowth is very, very nice. And like you say, because you were on the bench and became active...
So this definitely limits Tord on this turn, though, for sure. So Tord is probably looking for, like, Birdkeeper Gale Thrust now or something.
Something like an Arceus V-Star, that's now in range. If it VMAXes, Arceus V-Star can still get a KO. And
Magnus actually Rich has really struggled to get into a Arceus now because the Raihan is prized. I don't know how many Raihan Magnus plays. But setting up an Arceus from here is going to be pretty tough.
Yep, and the good news for Magnus is there's no sign of any like Raihan play. That's the main acceleration that Tord uses to be able to launch rapid flows from his own Urshifu VMAX. So by taking this line and not taking a KO this turn...
Tord might also just give up on this Urshifu, to be honest, and just be like, alright, it's dead.
Yeah, that's quite nice. Now we see the level coming down.
Go next.
I wonder what he could be going for. It might be a Drizzile.
Probably going to be a Drizzile, yeah. And
He's the best 2 out of 3.
With this line from Magnus avoiding his ambition, so it really does limit Tord's options with his supporters because they're really unconventional. There's going to be no Professor's Research in here, no copies of Marnie, so he really just has some draw 3 options. So the likes of Birdkeeper might be his best choice this turn.
Yeah, I mean, you've alluded to Cynthia's ambition and to Raihan. Both of those supporters, of course, rely on having had a Pokemon KO'd on your opponent's turn. Well, Magnus didn't take a KO.
And Tord didn't actually prize any one ofs. Tord didn't prize a single one of, I don't think. So has access to all the shenanigans.
He might want, they're no longer viable. So he can go and grab a level ball. He's going to probably grab a Drizzile here. That gives access to Shady Dealings. And Shady Dealings will search any trainer card. And this is why Tord builds his deck like he does. Because as soon as you level ball for a Drizzile, and all of a sudden any supporter you want is within your reach.
The Dealings, yeah, there's the Birdkeeper lineup. I think the play you just kind of have to go with.
Played in such a way that even though Tord can grab any supporter he wants, the ones he wants is actually there's far fewer of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And Shady
knock out Bidoof. You can't knock out Bidoof this turn.
It's in a myriad of decks.
Because Strafe won't knock out the Bidoof. I guess if you had a... No, you just can't knock out Bidoof this turn, right?
A scoop up net in hand as well, so you can more or less Birdkeep into any of his Pokemon.
Oh, I think Tord has the energy and the evolution as well, so you just get off the Gale Thrust here, I'm pretty sure.
You've seen 3 cards and Shady Deal for an additional 1 once you have that extra insight. So that's probably going to be a line that we see from him here, unless he has anything else in mind. Potentially something like a Sonya could be another supporter that he goes for here, but he does really want to move this Urshifu if possible.
Called it.
Yeah, it seems.
Bro, I'm concerned with time. They've already taken 10 minutes and they've each played 2 turns, bro. They've done like nothing on the board. I feel like this game is not going to go to game 3, or this match is not going to be able to get to game 3. It's going to have to be a 2-0.
Set up for him to actually launch a decent attack back here from Magnus, because otherwise he's going to be a little
Or a
bit
donk.
short of the mark.
All right, fresh Ursh instead of the trying to get the choice belt.
It is actually straight into the Rapid Strike Urshifu, but of course that scoop up net's still a good play. You pick up your Drizzile, and oh look, now I've got a Drizzile in hand. I've got a Sobble on the bench. Now I can have a second Shady.
And I'm pretty sure Tord had the fighting energy as well, so we'll get the Gale Thrust here. I mean, I think Tord is still at a pretty big advantage.
So we do see scoop up net coming down exactly as we expected. Drizzile comes down again.
Just because, like, I mean, Magnus didn't attack with Arceus. I feel like Magnus doesn't attack with Arceus, and Magnus doesn't play. If Magnus doesn't play Rapid Strike energy, it's just gonna be hard for Magnus to keep up from here on out. We'll see though.
So that would be one way to guarantee, because I don't believe he's got the energy in hand.
Yeah, he plays like different.
Ilachi's a shuffling machine. No.
Fighting and water.
I think Tord might just go chain Drizziles here and then get a. No, maybe not. His lineup level ball. I was thinking maybe chain Drizziles and hold the evolution instead, but goes for a quick ball instead.
So we do see quick ball.
Oh, I think Tord does play the Manaphy. I think Tord plays Manaphy. I think we're about to see a Manaphy here.
There you go. So
Yep.
really good start.
There it is.
He's also going to develop his own Manaphy here, and that's what we mentioned earlier on. This can protect Tord's own Pokemon from being hit on the bench with that Wave Veil ability. Magnus
Broken Fee, bro.
So it really does neuter the.
I wonder if Magnus plays the Manaphy. But Magnus just does not have the bench space for Manaphy right now, though.
Just Gale Thrusting once again.
I mean, this is pretty much a second turn in a row where just everything's going. Tord needs the energy. He's taking advantage of his opponent's training court to
and then here comes 150. Yeah, Tord's in a really good spot now. Even if Magnus plays Manaphy, Magnus just does not have board's bench space to play the Manaphy. If you play the Manaphy here, then Tord can just focus on the Urshifu and then just KO that.
To try and protect. I mean, about the only way that could have gone better is maybe having that Octillery, but you didn't need the Octillery last turn.
No, absolutely. It's
All right, we got the barrel for Magnus at the very least.
Magnus just has that big barrel that he can evolve into, and straight away is going to get himself 4 additional cards. It's a great new draw engine from the Brilliant Stars set.
See the research is another Urshifu.
5. We've seen this effect previously on the likes of Octillery, on the likes of Sylvali GX as well, and now it's back in this form of Industrious Incisors, which is a fantastic ability name, love to say it. And yeah, it's really helping Magnus.
I don't think Magnus is gonna grab anything here to like play. Probably just gonna thin something out of the deck, but might have to go for an Arceus anyways, though, right? Like I feel like that's why it was like so important. I feel like for Magnus to get down to the turn one Arceus, like I mean that is what the deck is kind of based around. Magnus plays 3 of the little Mews too. We'll see if they bench Arceus. I think you have to bench this Arceus here and find an energy for it, but then you're like, you need switch. How do you say the air balloon on the Meowth? So if you just get a switch, you're attacking at least.
You know, Arceus V-Star. V-Stars only give up 2 prizes. That's lovely. That's better than giving up 3 prizes. But you got 280 HP. And Gale Thrust does 150 hits for weakness. Would you believe it? That's enough. We've already said Magnus doesn't play that Dunsparce, which takes away the ability of colorless Pokemon. Which means that potentially for a single
There's the research.
Tord can get a one-hit KO.
Got the energy for the Arceus. Got plenty of bees. Don't really want the bees, but that'll have to do. The bees also aren't that good in this matchup anyway, so it's not that big of a deal, to be honest.
Couple energy and some supporter cards. It's really not doing a lot for him.
But did not get a switch.
He's going to be able to launch any attack here this
So can hit for 30. Can hit for 30 damage. And then Tord can G-Max Rapid Flow.
It's great when it's coming from the bench, but far less effective when it's been stuck there.
No, if you can evolve it and then get a G-Max Rapid Flow off, that's amazing.
I think Tord should probably be able to set up the game from here, to be honest. You can go with like a G-Max Rapid Flow. You could go like G-Max Rapid Flow, KO B-Barrel, set up Crobat or Luminion. And then G-Max Rapid Flow, KO the Ursh, KO Luminion. That should be game. I think you even have time to use like a Yoga Loop.
Hasn't really got any setup damage, you know, for the following turn to potentially.
Could also see something like Boss KO the Arceus. But I feel like you just go with a flow setup here as Tord.
But typically, Urshifu is removing its own energy.
Let's see what Tord goes with. Another net down. Comes the Drizzy again. And also, Magnus probably doesn't play many, if any, Marnie, which is Tord deck, which is what Tord's deck wants to see. I see that Octillery get developed here.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that's so good about Tord's deck is that he can avoid that B-Drill.
Oh, doesn't even use it. Maybe just holding onto it for next turn to get the shady dealings in Teleon or another Drizzle in the following turn. Instead of getting stuck if the Drizzle goes down. Or I guess you just don't have anything to use anyways. And Tord has a Rapid Strike energy in hand, so we at least see the, what's it called this term. Does Tord want to see Marnie? No, Tord doesn't want to see Marnie. Did I say it the other way around? I'm pretty sure I said it. Tord doesn't want to see Marnie.
Tord did opt to shuffle up his deck, so maybe he has. Yeah,
unless your hand is ever really bad with the deck, but generally Tord does not want to see Marnie.
Again, those options to either go using.
That's a boss. Oh, so we can see Boss Arceus G-Max Rapid Flow KO Arceus KO B-Barrel. I assume you may as well take the B-Barrel out in this situation. We'll see. Tord just shot the B-Barrel. There we go. So we saw Evo Incense. What else was got off the prize cards? To be honest, if I was Magnus, I think I would maybe chalk this one right now. Like you're already 15 minutes in. Yeah, if I was Magnus, I'd maybe chalk this here and just go game 2 because I don't think you have enough time to win. The biggest thing here for Magnus, I don't think you have enough time to win 2 games if you continue this. Yeah, okay, there's a scoop. Nice. I like that. I like that.
That's going to be game 1 pretty much sewn up there. A really fast start from Tord. He got
Magnus really needs Arceus. Like I said, I think Magnus misplayed by not putting the trading card in play. Magnus's deck has to attack with Arceus or beat them with a B-Drill. Of course, they didn't know what Tord was playing, so you could beat them with B-Drill possibly, but I don't know. I think Magnus definitely should have played the trading card and Crobat for that extra card to try and find the what's it called there. Try and find that that Arceus. You just need the Arceus. I'm assuming this game we'll see Magnus play a little harder for that turn 2 Arceus. See a Manaphy for Magnus? No, we did not. They could still be playing it. It's gonna be. I don't think so. We didn't see it. I didn't see it in the deck or the prize card, so I don't think Magnus plays it. Which means it's definitely gonna be a probably favorable matchup for Tord. It'll definitely be a favorable matchup for Tord.
Yeah, I think it's the right move from Magnus. He could sort of see where they
This is going to be a pretty bad matchup, to be honest, I think. For the more I think about it, the worse it is for Magnus, the better it is for Tord. But Tord's deck can be a little bit weird, for sure, so...
Had that Remoraid and the Urshifu naturally in hand, so he went wide on his board. He was able to develop...
No Manaphy or Dunsparce? Yeah, I didn't see the Dunsparce either.
His opponent's Urshifu VMAX, which is going to be a bit of an interesting tech play this weekend. Those who have chosen to play it and those who haven't chosen to
Oh, is that what they said?
But in this case, it's paid dividends for Tord, as he was able to pretty safely navigate Magnus's own board there by taking double KO.
Yeah, it was really good. I've already had conversations, you know, from coming in yesterday to starting the stream today. I've already had conversations with people about what decks you should and shouldn't play Manaphy. And we were talking to some friends yesterday about whether you should play Manaphy in Manamar. One of the things I really love about the way Tord played that game, there's a real patience and a real calmness about the way Tord plays. Turn one, Tord fills up his bench. He knows he needs Manaphy, but he fills up his bench, does what he needs to do, and then on turn two, you scoop up that the Drizzle, use it to then, you know, get a second use of Shady Dealings. Oh, look, I've got a bed space. Now I can play down my Manaphy. Because you need to evolve Rapid Strike Urshifu. It's not a threat, turn one, to go and do that damage.
All right, so peep those surprise cards. So what we want to see?
Turn two, oh yeah, I'll just make a bit of space, play that Manaphy down. I think a lot of people watching can learn an awful lot from the way you watch Tord play.
Yeah, absolutely. And the good news for Magnus is his turn one was pretty...
Cheryl's prize, that could be a big deal. Rapture Energy prize. Okay. So on Magnus' side, probably the Zigzagoon's a pretty big deal, because now Magnus can't go turn 2 Arceus KO Urshifu. Or like do it at all with Arceus. So actually the Zigzagoon being prized is pretty unfortunate for Magnus. He doesn't give him like that aggressive play. Especially with Tord prizing a Urshifu, because the deck only plays 2 Urshifu. So if Magnus could boss KO the Urshifu, the game might just kind of end there, to be honest. Okay, better start for Magnus. Looks like top deck Arceus.
That could come back to haunt later on, but we start off with a Remoraid for Tord and a...
Prioritizing the Meowth is weird when it seems like you don't really... I would prioritize the Marnie, I think. Marnie's really good against Tord's deck. I don't know why Magnus is prioritizing...
But typically Arceus players don't have really expansive turn ones. They're basically...
I don't know why Magnus is prioritizing the...
Getting energy attached to it because...
Just get rid of the Meowth, I feel like. What do you want Meowth for? Like, you don't need... Bijo doesn't really do that much in this matchup. It's, like, not terrible to have as an option, but I feel like Marnie's just super good against Tord's deck. I would have kept the Marnie for sure.
If Magnus can get that Arceus with an energy on turn 1, Tord has a turn. If Magnus can get Arceus V-Star doing Arceus V-Star stuff, turn 2, after Tord's just had a single turn...
But the Goon being prized is a big deal for sure.
But then again, a single Gale Thrust could then ruin all of that as well.
And the bench space is already going to get awkward for Magnus as well if Magnus benches this. The Meowth, the bench space is going to get awkward again already, and give a ton of targets and options for.
Anticipating to be a very popular card this weekend.
It's gonna get painful for Magnus already.
Help him out a little bit more pre-Crobat by the looks of things. Switch is a good card to play down as well. He could also get rid of the Ultra Ball and Mustard in his hand if he wishes, but instead he's just going to...
For 4, but needs that energy. Could have drawn more as well.
Absolutely, that Meowth, of course.
If he whiz, it's going to be in... Okay, thank goodness.
It's there just to discard cards from your hand.
I don't know, could have been more... I don't know. Could have been more aggressive, I guess.
Which can only be played on an empty hand, or draw more cards with Bibarel or Crobat or whatever it might be. That actually becomes quite nice. But we see an energy attachment from Magnus. He's got the Arceus with an energy. He's got the Bidoof ready to evolve.
Are the casters too loud, or should I turn them up, turn them down?
It's not terrible.
I said probably I'm not going to turn them up, but should I turn them down?
Tord does have a Sobble off the top. He also has Quick Ball, so...
No energy for Tord, though. Has Peonia, though.
Is that just a Clara by the looks of things?
It's a Peony, I believe.
Oh, it's a Peony, okay.
And I think he's got a Scoop up net as well, so if
They're
you
good?
get the Remoraid out the active, he can.
Here we go, Peonia.
All right.
Peonia, sorry.
He's had no insight into what these prizes are. He's just
There we go, raw
to
3.
3 additional cards here. And
I want to see his hand right now. I want to see that hand
I
cam.
believe he has Scoop Up Net and Sobble. If he was able to get one of those off the...
Oh, yeah, got energy, level ball.
Energy,
Did not get the Urshifu, though.
to piece together a keep calling turn here.
So, but can keep calling, but we're just going to find out that the second Urshifu is prized, which is going to make things pretty awkward.
Because you saw in that first game how essential it is to get towards setup rolling.
Looks like put a Rapid Strike energy back, the boss, and something else.
Knowing that he can get access to that Rapid Strike energy from prize cards is another big benefit of Peonia.
Resurgence and Arceus are out on? We definitely could.
It's a kind of card that doesn't really see much play because if you're going to hit it, you need to play 4 of it, but you don't want to play it that often. It's the kind of card that actually, it's only really good if you know you can get it. But between Drizzle and Inteleon, Tord knows he can get it. And that's why you can play a card like Peonia as a one-off, whereas your traditional deck that plays, you know, like we said at the start of the show, your 4 Professors Research, 4 Mana.
All right, there are the notes.
Peonia in that kind of deck.
He's got the deck box to block the view.
As a one-off, but then you're not going to draw it often enough to make it worthwhile. So, you know, really seeing how Tord's...
Oh no, Tord found the Urshifu out of the prize cards. I thought Tord didn't. Oh no, wait, was it Tord with an Urshifu prize or was it Magnus? Maybe I missaw that actually. Maybe Tord never had an Urshifu prized.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tord, with the notepad here, may as well jot down the positioning of these prizes thanks to Peonia, because you're not forced to reposition your prizes when you put them back. You know exactly where these 3 cards that you've just placed into your prizes are going to sit. So
okay, so got rid of Quick Ball, a Rap Strike Energy Boss, has to keep calling. Cheryl's still prized.
So knowing when and where to pick that out of the prizes is going to be a huge piece of information for him. And we are going to be seeing this early play, the scoop up net, the attachment of energy to that Sobble.
And then yeah, keep calling.
And that might be all of his actions for the
turn. Got an Ursh in hand, yeah, okay. Bro, he's got the literally the exact same field. This is literally what Tord had last game. It's literally the exact same field. Ursh, Rem, keep calling.
Exactly. If he goes,
and we should see Ursh, Sobble, Sobble.
We have got the exact same start as last game, but it went really, really well. And now Magnus has got to be a little bit worried, because if you get that Arceus V Star, you know all Tord is going to need is an energy, a VMAX, and some way to switch. Yep. And all of a sudden, that's a one-hit KO for 2 prizes. Well,
there we go, cooking.
That's not a particularly good trade for Magnus. And sure, he could use that Arceus to power up another Arceus on the bench, but that's not going to do much when your Arceus are dropping super quickly to these fighting Pokemon. And oftentimes...
All right, we'll see what Magnus has. But yeah, this feels like a tough matchup. I don't think Magnus plays Dunsparce, doesn't play Manaphy.
Beedrill is a stunning tech, but it's only a
it's tough. It's tough.
Special energy decks, phenomenal.
And has like 2 1-prizes in play too. So Tord could do something like Gale Thrust, Boss, Gale Thrust, Crobat into G-Max Rapid Flow, B-Barrel, Meowth. Or we could see the G-Max Rapid Flow KO Arceus, KO B-Barrel into G-Max Rapid Flow, KO Crobat, KO Meowth.
Might be his first action. He already has Ultra
I don't know. We see the B is available in the hand here for Magnus, but
I imagine that's going to be his best.
I think it's about to be irrelevant in this situation.
And I have to imagine that that's going to be his line here. We could see a similar play to last game where you
maybe just draws the cards and doesn't actually get the B, because the B is literally just not, it doesn't do anything.
Again, the likes of the Cynthia's Ambition, the likes of that Raihan.
So B just doesn't. Also, the Meowth or the Mews are like interesting as well.
Absolutely, but once again, Tord's got the answers. You know, it's awkward. You put the energy onto Arceus V, and well, now you're worried about weakness. Put the energy onto an Urshifu, and then you're worried about Manaphy coming down, and really just, you know, when
yeah, with the 2-card hand, Magnus is gonna go with B-Barrel first here.
Rather than hitting 120 and having to discard energy.
Oh, yeah, I don't think. I mean, the B is just. This is why I was talking about like keeping the Marnie over the B. The B is just so bad in this matchup. So I don't know why Magnus kept Mustard over Marnie. So you could just like set up your own Urshifu this turn, and maybe hope their Manaphy is prized and go with the G-Max Rapid Flow next turn.
Really does seem like whatever Magnus is doing here, Tord is just ready to respond.
And Magnus is going to go ahead and draw a few cards from his Industrious Incisors there.
Might be going for the... Ooh, Avery. Okay, Avery's a good play here, though.
It's a once per game.
Yeah, Avery's super good here, actually. What do you even discard as Tord, actually? You have to get rid of, like... Okay, the Avery's pretty lit. The Avery's pretty lit, actually. I was like, this is going to be so hard for Magnus, but this is actually a pretty good turn here from Magnus.
He's got a full bench right now.
And we'll be able to get an Urshifu with the Ultra Ball in hand to actually set that up.
That's really going to hurt Tord's engine.
Yeah, and this is the kind of thing we're looking for. We need something unusual. We need Magnus.
It's actually about to be... I'm interested to see what Tord discards. Well, Tord probably... I don't know if Tord plays the Ordinary Rod, so... anymore.
Down to free bench Pokemon, then taking a KO, so you're taking 3 Pokemon off the board. That is absolutely huge. And maybe that's going to be enough to really stop.
That's got to be awkward.
Doing what he wants to do. I mean, get rid of an Urshifu and a Sobble here.
Yep, I think that would be my shout, unless he feels like he doesn't need the Remoraid's early on.
You can get rid of Rem Sobble. You might be able to get rid of an Urshifu here because you know it's not getting boss this turn. You can maybe get rid of an Urshifu here actually, if you can rot it back. You go like Ursh Sobble here.
Trying to go this game with just 1 Sobble, which is a little bit scary for Tord.
And there's another Sobble in Tord's deck. Tord didn't prize the 4th Sobble, so this Tord only plays 3 Sobble. But yeah, you can get rid of the Ursh here. It's not that bad if you have the Rod. Or you could even Clara this turn potentially.
As it stands at the moment, that's off the board.
But there's still pretty good turn here from Magnus.
There should still be one Sobble left for Tord, should there not?
Yeah, there'll be one Sobble to work off of, but yeah, as you say, it's far less.
Magnus keeps prioritizing this mustard, bro. Let it go, bro.
Use multiple activations.
That guy's trash.
As Magnus now is
goes for the Ursh.
Ultra Ball, search out that Urshifu so you can start.
I only saw one Ursh there for Magnus. I don't know how many Magnus plays on. Oh, the one was prize. It might be like a 2-1.
Yeah, all things considered, a really nice tech include that Avery coming up.
2-1
early on for Magnus
Ursh line.
and really depleting towards what looked like incredible board state.
Yeah, and I love this turn from Magnus. I mean, we've seen Torn have incredible turn after incredible turn, and I think this is Magnus just going, look, you're not the only one that can have a really good turn, Torn.
How many basic fightings are in here left, though? All right, they got enough.
I'm accelerating energy.
Yeah, so like a G-Max Rapid Flow on this next one from Magnus would be huge. So Tord really wants to get Manaphy this turn.
It's still possible. There is a way with Raihan that Tord could do.
I mean, he's about to know he plays B right now.
And that would be the
Yeah, he sees the grass energy. It's a pretty. You could make the guess. Once you see the Meowth, you can make a pretty good guess that he has B. I don't know if you saw Mustard game 1.
For example, on the active at the same time, and Tord is now wary of Magnus's Urshifu at the same time. So there's a lot that Tord has to piece together here. He needs to get Urshifu in the active.
All right, let's see what Tord can put together.
Energy, maybe even 3 energy in the best case scenario. He may just settle for
Kept the Remoraid around.
his turn, to be honest, depending on how good Tord's hand is. But
And there's a boss from Magnus as well. So if
available to him. So
Tord doesn't get like a knockout here, you can see a boss Arceus KO next
pretty
turn.
much the best turn two possible. That's what you always see with Starburst.
But I'm sure Tord is going to be looking for Manaphy here. We might see the Cynthia's Ambition off the rip here from Tord.
And it really has set Tord's board back a lot.
Let's see the ambitions in there.
Levelable here, so we're going to start seeing some shady dealings.
Yeah, that's going to be quite nice. I mean, when Arceus V-Star first was revealed, when we first saw it, I thought, well, you know, that's really good in the early game, but you can also
the dealings.
save it for the late game. Save it for that turn where boss's orders and then energy wins me the game. But we don't see that. It is just pretty much every game you watch, that V-Star power comes out straight away. Because actually,
yep, there's the ambition.
Turn 2, turn 3, being able
trying to get an attack. I'm sure trying to get a Gale Thrust off this turn, but Tord's like kind of all in on just drawing a decent amount of or decent cards off this ambition this turn. Unless the hand is just ridiculous and already has like, the attack set up in the hand, but I doubt it.
Up to 8 cards if you have suffered a knockout on the previous turn. And that's just a huge hand size. And it looks like Tord, based on his own hand size right now, he's going to get to see an additional like 6 cards or something.
I guess I could see. I think I'd have time for game 3. Actually, I could see Tord scooping this game. If this is like a bad ambition and doesn't find Manaphy and Magnus, I can't see Tord not finding Manaphy this turn though. So we'll almost definitely find Manaphy.
The only cards Tord's actually plays are those scoop up nets as well as 1 copy of Tower of Waters.
Oh, has an evolution instance in the hand as well. But probably gonna hold on to it until after the ambition so you can get the artillery and the Urshifu. Yeah, so ambition for 6 first.
Coming out, and like you say, there are options. He could take a 2 prize KO on the active. He could try and extend and take out a bench Pokemon as well and go up by 3 prizes like we saw before. I mean, one thing to note, there is a Crobat on.
Alright, see if it's good enough.
Is also weak to fighting and is also a 2 prize Pokemon. So there is a scenario where Tord can actually win in 2 attacks.
I don't think it's that good.
Really start making use
Tord did the piano thing on the table with his hands.
Absolute max. Probably not going to happen. But you know Tord is thinking about all the different possibilities here. You know, Tord did not
also asked to see Magnus's discard pile, which means he's like looking for other ways to like win the game. So I feel like Magnus, or I feel like he probably doesn't have a great hand. I could be wrong though. I feel like Tord might have a great hand, but I could be wrong. We'll see.
It's very effective against the likes of Suicune, the likes of Malamar, but also in this case, any deck that is really reliant on this Inteleon
Artillery's there.
does get set back a little bit.
The Urshifus are there as well.
Been able to find his Octillery.
Tord might only need 1 Urshifu as well.
But it does allow you to go ahead and grab a Rapid Strike card.
Tord might only need 1 Urshifu to win this game, to be honest.
Rapid Strike energy.
No, you'll need this. No, you might only need 1, because Magnus can't even 2-hit KO your Urshifu.
If you can piece together an attack.
Yeah, absolutely. So we need to get the Auxiliary out the active. We need to get some energy. We need to get a VMAX.
By Medicham. Has to get Manaphy here, I think.
We see the quick ball coming down here. You know, this could be for another Sobble. We did say there is 1 remaining in the deck. Could be for another attacker to, you know, follow up just in case something.
About to come in close. It's true. It's true. I could be wrong. Guys, a Manaphy grab.
This is a really good play because now, you know, look at
it's very possible. It's very possible if Tord has to Gale Touch with a special energy here that the B's about to come through.
Take a KO on, you know, for instance, the Octillery.
Gotta be a ridiculous game.
Just leave Tord with very few options, or it
then Tord would probably concede and go to the next.
Taking out one of those support on the bench.
Alright, get a Sobble here. Just try and set up, re-establish your board state that was just destroyed by Avery.
You've got to of think this one's going to be the Sobble.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get Bobble.
And it seems like the safest route for Tord.
Get him in there. He's ready to go.
Bench Pokemon and then re-establish a Sobble at the same time. So
Imagine if Magnus has another Avery here. Imagine if Tord doesn't get an attack off and then Magnus just Avery's again.
I haven't been able to spy his hand.
It is a Rapid Strike energy. Oh no, the B could come through next turn.
One of the Urshi in hand, and he can search out.
Unbelievable.
So it looks like he's spying the.
I don't see a basic fighting in the hand.
And he has at least
I see a net in the hand there for Tord as well.
Would take away the evolution, but you've used auxiliary this turn, so you bench the Remoraid, re-evolve it next turn. Because of the way the format works at the moment.
So the B's about to come through. Well, Tord might. Tord might attach and pass though. That seems like so slow though.
You know, like we've said, gone are the days where everyone's playing 4.
Tord could go bench attach pass.
You're expecting your
That's really slow.
You know, every turn or two. You know,
but you could maybe still win from there, to be honest.
Hold that auxiliary, evolve it next turn. You've not really lost anything, and really now it's does Tord have the energy?
Oh, I think Tord's going into the Snorlax actually. I think it's gonna be the attach and Snorlax, yeah. Yeah, with the Gormandize, it's actually pretty good.
And it looks like Tord is gonna have.
It's actually pretty. You just get a bunch of cards and you're chilling.
Yeah, so failed to find an energy from that Cynthia's ambition. So
oh, maybe didn't even get an energy. I thought I saw a Rapid Strike energy to him, but I could be wrong actually.
Your turn if you choose not to attack. It's a really nice.
Yeah, now if the Urshi gets boss, he's in a pretty bad spot. I think that's why he was checking. He was checking if Magnus had down boss. Yeah, there might actually have been a Rapid Strike energy in the hand. I thought I saw him, but I could have been wrong. There is a boss in the hand for Magnus as well.
Magnus is more than likely going to be forced to take a knockout, but he does actually have a boss's orders in hand, so could try and get some prep damage on.
I think you just boss Urshifu here. Not bossing Urshifu feels real bad here for Magnus. If you just carry the active, you're not really doing that much.
It does play that Cheryl that Magnus has to be afraid of.
We know it's prized.
Yeah, we do.
Magnus doesn't know it's prized.
Yeah,
you're not really that afraid of the Cheryl play though, because I don't even know if Tord's deck plays switch cards. To be honest, I think it just plays Bird Keeper. So if Tord Cheryls, it doesn't really matter. But Magnus has another boss in the hand as well. Magnus actually should just hold the hand here. I think I actually just like Magnus's hand to keep it. I don't even know if you have to do anything. You could attach to Urshifu, I guess.
I think what Magnus is thinking is
that hand's got options.
2 ways I get KO'd by.
That's all you need.
If it's on the bench and becomes active with 1 energy.
Cheryl's still prized. It is prized, yeah. But even if it wasn't, you couldn't. I don't think you could Cheryl, get to the bench, and get back to the active. I don't think the deck plays switch cards. I don't love losing the balloon there because now you don't have like a pivot. I guess Magnus wants to see more cards, but I kind of liked holding the air balloon to like put it on B-Barrel or Meowth, make that a pivot to like get into a B or something later on maybe.
I'm gonna go ahead and grab the VMAX right now and evolve into it. I think he had an option even to use like something like 100 Furious Blows.
I think he wants to draw the extra cards with the B-Barrel.
Pokemon and just get damage onto the VMAX, because now that you've put yourself in this position where you go into the 3 prize Pokemon, it's going to again help towards prize map, because he's able to take out the likes of the Barrel and the Meowth so easily.
A Barrel.
That actually offering up a 3 prizer is a little bit awkward here for Magnus, but it is still his choice.
I guess Tord always has the option of Moltres, right? Will that ever be enough though? Not if Magnus makes a 3rd attacker, I guess.
Which could have also put him in an awkward spot, but would also be threatening the.
It is also possible that Tord plays like an escape rope or a switch, but I don't think Robin's listed initially.
Thanks to the Ultra Ball, though, he is able to get a few additional cards here before ending on potentially just another attack from the Arceus.
Yeah, of course, using G-Max Rapid Flow. As
I don't know why. That's interesting that Magnus didn't attach the energy to the Urshifu.
I think we would have to see a boss to take it out.
Why isn't Magnus attaching that energy to the Urshifu? Why does he want to conserve it?
Well, I would say, 200 damage is pretty nice, and Tord can get a.
I don't hate the grass energy active. That way you can retreat but still attack with the Arceus in the following turn. How's that fighting in hand that they could have attached to the Urshifu? I wonder why they're choosing not to.
Although we do know Tord has the artillery in hand, he can get that Tower of Waters quite easily. He would then still need to find himself a scoop up net or anything else.
Oh, there's a Tower of Waters. I forgot about that. They do play Tower of Waters, yeah.
How the Snorlax has treated him. Now
I forgot about Tower of Waters. There's Tower of Waters. So you can retreat off the Tower of Waters, net, reset, go from there.
Yeah, that is. It's going to be awkward, This is what we see from these decks, like we've got 2 counters.
I see what Tord can put together here. Definitely KO it, I think. Should Magnus have hit with... Magnus could have hit with the Urshifu, right? And then not lost the Arceus to Gale Thrust.
You know what they're going to do within reason, turn after turn. That is a deck.
I mean, I guess Tord actually could have gone retreat, net, Cheryl hit.
Different players can put their flair into the deck. Whereas here, it really is, Magnus can play it as an Arceus.
Can't do that because the Cheryl's prized in this situation, but could have if the Cheryl wasn't prized.
Toward,
Yeah, why does Magnus want to just give him two prize
You've
cards
got
here?
other options like your Galarian Moltres, like your Metacham that you can try and weave in as you like, and it makes it very awkward when both players are trying to do the reactive options thing.
Yeah.
It makes it much more awkward for everyone involved.
Yeah, especially when they come up against something that they're not expecting quite so much, and they are having to sort of learn on the fly the best way to navigate this matchup for both players.
Magnus could, I don't know.
we that
Magnus could have
both are
retreated there.
established
I don't
a bit
think I would have
to
hated Magnus
test
just retreating there,
against,
just to Gale Thrust.
Urshifu sort of Dark Inteleon archetype, because there's so much going on. So many people just.
I definitely like hitting Urshifu for sure, but I don't know if I like losing these your Arceus, or like potentially losing your Arceus. But like Tord kind of has to KO this Arceus. Like Tord doesn't have multiple plays with the board state, right? Like Tord doesn't have a ton of plays. Or it'd be like run to the bench, and I guess you could like run to the bench, Cheryl, and just Snorlax again.
It's still cool shady dealings.
It is, but it is. It's ultimate for sure.
You're searching two trainers rather than one. So you evolve into Drizzle, any trainer. But you evolve into Inteleon, any two trainers come down here.
So Tord needs like Scoop Up Net, Stadium, Ordinary Rod, Quick Ball for Urshifu, Treat Hit, get Urshifu back, or Tord could just run to the bench and put another Urshifu in play and Snorlax again, and then like try and run Magnus out of boss maybe.
He's going to be able to get Tower of Waters to retreat and then, get a Scoop Up Net, or, I don't think he's better supporter yet, so a Bird Keeper plus a Scoop Up Net would do it. Tord can do the double switching, and this is the kind
the
of
choice
thing you're
bout?
looking for. He is, however, going for Choice Band here.
Yeah, it's definitely a curious choice. There's no hit point buff on Magnus's Arceus right now, so potentially going for a different route. He's going to be grabbing Raihan.
Could you hit with choice belt? Hit with maybe Moltres this turn?
Scoop up net this turn and getting extra deals going, so he could just be
Get extra deals going.
Absolutely, because had Magnus taken a KO last turn, this would be the play. Raihan,
Alright, got the Tower of Waters.
Choice Belt, energy,
Very cool, very cool play.
And probably the Bibarel. That would be good. But because Magnus didn't take a KO,
Everyone knows what Sander's running. Sander is the best player that everyone knows what he's always running every single tournament.
Gale Thrust or bust really at this stage.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Tord would like.
I mean, I guess it could be a different version of control every time, but it's always control.
Heavily damaged. You may want to try and protect it at all costs. So we'll see what else he wants to piece together.
Oh, so the Clara is also pretty good here. I actually like the Clara
You sort of have to do this so that you actually.
because you need that Urshifu.
Towards other attacking Pokemon, the likes of the Galarian Moltres and the Hooper, the individual one prize Pokemon.
Yeah, you need to get this Urshifu somehow. Clara works.
The Moltres is great later on once there's even more prizes being taken by Magnus, and the Hooper is good at really just taking some poke.
I think Tord's just gonna run the Urshifu away and like probably hope it doesn't get knocked out. I think Tord has the Stadium. But also needs a net to get the other Urshifu into play.
Absolutely, it's really good, and we do see that tower.
Maybe he's just gonna hope that Magnus doesn't have the boss here. Even if Magnus does have the boss here, though, Magnus doesn't just win. And Magnus does have the boss here.
Because once in a game,
I think it's probably Magnus's last boss. Actually, maybe not. That might be their second boss actually.
Because they're items, you can dig with supporters to get them. Soon as you build in this engine with all of this search, it just becomes such a better card. So now we see that level.
Bro, they just flash a Lapras on the screen. Just some music just started playing and then they flash a Lapras, bro.
More shady dealings. This is going to be Scoop Up Net as well. Most likely, we're going to see the retreat.
Okay, so we are able to get the other Urshifu into play.
Possibly the Urshifu, possibly the Snorlax as well. Those are decent targets.
So probably pick up Inteleon, bench Urshifu, retreat to Snorlax. Maybe Gourmandize for one, but the hand's gonna be pretty big, so probably Gourmandize for none.
And there is a little bit of an element here where we've said before, there's not really much hand disruption going on here.
Accidental music into flashing Lapras.
Magnus saw Tord take the right hand. Magnus knows, so as long as an Urshifu comes down on Tord's side here, Magnus knows he's got the right hand. Magnus knows he's got the choice belt. So
it is possible that
potentially building up for a big turn. That could impact what Magnus is thinking here, because he basically knows that G-Max Rapid Flow is potentially on the board, and I like this very much indeed, because you pick up that Inteleon with Scoop Up Net, and oh look, now I can Inteleon next turn.
Yep, straight back into that.
Oh wait, we can still Gale Thrust this turn though. You can bench and Gale Thrust. For some reason I thought we were gonna go to Snorlax, but you can just Gale Thrust this turn, which is just as good.
Yeah, he is going to have to forfeit.
Yeah, so this makes sense from Tord.
And just fill that space with another
Just hit.
As you say, the right hand is just really threatening for next turn. Now
A play Magnus could do would be boss KO Manaphy, to be honest.
Would have preferred, you know, instead of the Clara, the Cheryl would have been better, but as you know, it's prized. We actually see another scoop up net being played here, so Tord really...
For some reason, I thought Tord couldn't attack this turn, but Tord can definitely attack this turn. As long as he has the energy, which I'm pretty sure he does. He started his turn with energy search, I'm pretty sure.
Everything prepped in hand for next turn with the Raihan and the artillery already established.
I think what's going to happen here is it's going to go... Tord knocks us out, Magnus goes Gale Thrust KO, and then Tord goes...
And he's pretty much happy with his game plan for next turn.
Absolutely, because the
doesn't go with the special energy as well. Well, I guess you don't want the B to get the other one, so this makes sense. Then you go choice, but this is why it's so important for Magnus to have kept that Marnie. I think you'd like here's a turn to Marnie, man. Tord's hand is like huge and prepped is like. This is where Magnus wants to Marnie, or I actually to see Magnus could go boss KO. Also, no air balloon for Magnus either. Like as I was talking about the air balloon too, to have a pivot option. Now we can't even see a Gale Thrust from Magnus unless he wants to use his energy for turn to hard retreat, which I guess is like okay, but I'd much rather have GMAX Trap Flow set up. Because for Magnus here, we could have seen, I mean, I guess it depends if there's a choice belt. No, Magnus does play choice belt, so Magnus could have gone like boss, KO, Manaphy, hope you don't have Cheryl, then GMAX Rapid Flow for 4 prize cards next turn. I guess you're also hoping the Ordinary Route doesn't get the Manaphy back, but...
His hand is actually full of supporter cards. I don't think he's going to get much value from Bibarel, so he's going to... I think Tord's just saying why he's taking prizes in the order that he is, because he actually knows what prize cards he has. So he's allowed to choose prizes in whatever order he likes, and in this case, he has.
I mean, you can always choose prizes in whatever order you like.
For him to choose in a specific order.
What is Tord? I'm so confused.
With sort of no biases.
But it makes it really interesting to me because he knows 3, he doesn't know the other 3.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, I think Tord's debating. I don't think he's taking it yet. He's pulled it off there. I don't think he's actually drawn it yet. I think he was like making sure he could switch prize cards still.
Almost 70% chance of hitting the Cheryl. It's a really interesting thing. Do I want one of the cards I know, or do I want to take the mystery box?
Yeah, he took the boss's orders as a snap choice.
What does he get? Oh, he gets 2.
And now I believe he also took one of those random prize cards for the hope potentially of the Cheryl. I think also maybe Rapid Strike Energy was a good choice here, even though he has artillery. Decent options around the board for Tord there. But Magnus, he sends up the Crobat, so at the very least he could pay retreat. But
this is where Marty would be so good for Magnus. Also, no air balloon. Like I feel like Magnus kept options, but threw away his good options every time. Like,
I think Marnie would be really big this turn.
And there was a Marnie. Magnus literally discarded Marnie on the first turn of the game and kept like a bunch of other junk. Like, and now he's getting punished for it here. Like, Marnie is so good here. We didn't even check the Poke Gear. Magnus only maybe plays 1 Marnie though. It's also possible his deck only plays 1 Marnie.
Would have been a great play because you know Tord's got that response coming. So
also no pivot. Could have had the air balloon as well. Threw away the air balloon. Now drew into another air balloon, but now you already put your energy on your Crobat. Now you don't even have a GMAX Rapid Flow. I guess GMAX Rapid Flow is not. I know GMAX Rapid Flow could be a big deal because it could be your only attack next turn. To be honest, after you go with that Gale Thrust, actually could be a big deal.
It's obviously a decent turn. You take yourself down to
but Marnie was obviously huge there, and he threw that away turn 1.
Tord is denying the Rapid Flow with that Manaphy so well.
And if you look at Tord's board,
This is just really rough.
We know he's going to VMAX, so we've got 1 prize, 1 prize, 1 prize, 1 prize, 330 HP.
Good luck.
And it's 3 prizes, not even 2.
Yeah.
So Tord is doing that thing that we see good players do all the time. He's saying, oh, you're down to 2 prizes. Yeah, have fun taking out a 330 HP VMAX. Tord is not going to bench a 2 prize Pokemon V. It's not going to happen.
That's what I was saying. It would have been interesting to see if Magnus had like chased chased Manaphy instead. I don't know. That like never leads to like a win either. I don't think. I don't know. Feels like nothing is leading to a win here for Magnus at this point though. Like you needed to Marnie this turn. If you had Marnie this turn for Magnus, then Tord could just whiff, right? Like Tord has so many of his good cards in his hand right now. Like you Marnie him, who knows what he draws, right? But
it's an interesting choice when you already have free retreat.
Now there's no Marnie, so.
Absolutely. So we do see the KO here coming in. Magnus is going to take 3 prizes. Go down to 2 remaining. And in theory,
But this should be a dub for Tord, I think, for sure.
He's taken 2 extra prize cards.
Tord will be able to go Gale Thrust and then GMAX Rapid Flow.
Different to game 1. Game 1, Tord just rolled, did everything he wanted to do.
KO the Urshifu and KO 1 prize off the bench.
Here in game 2, Magnus had a much better
So Gale Thrust for 180 into GMAX Rapid Flow for 150. Knockout. That should be game. Just has to not put a special energy on the Urshifu and it should be over. Why am I not there? I didn't want to get stuck over there because you have to take a COVID test to get back into the US and it has to be negative. So if it was positive, I get stuck over there.
Yeah, and we know he has right hand in hand, so he could easily do a rapid flow turn this turn and take at least the barrel out of play.
Yeah. So yeah, Tor just gonna win with Gale Thrust and the GMAX rapid flow here. And now Tor can like set up his deck that much better to deal with like getting Marnied. I don't think Magnus even plays a Marnie though, to be honest. I don't think Magnus even has a Marnie. Like doesn't even play Marnie. Like it plays only the one Marnie and it's gone.
Yeah, the choice battle is massive. This really opens up the play a lot because Magnus only has one attacker developed, and if Tord puts some prep damage on it, then it's basically invalid to attack with. So this is, again, Tord...
Kind of scary. I mean, the changes probably weren't, like, likely I'd get it and get stuck, but it was a possibility, so...
It's going to put Magnus down to 180 HP. Would you believe it? Gale Frost with a choice bout, 180. So, honestly, right now, Tord hits... for 150 to the active.
Got the mole trace.
Takes out the
I mean, the good thing about this round going so long is that we're gonna get to the next round pretty soon.
And then Tord can Gale Frost for the win.
Just didn't want to lose to Soda, bro. Losing to Soda would have been the worst, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. I think Tord might throw the mole trace in play to thin out the hand, so that way if you get Marnie, you have less junk in your deck. Like the Moltres probably isn't going to be that important, but it's just to get all that stuff out of the hand. You know, if you keep your hand, you win the game. So I could see Tord throwing down the Moltres here.
We see the attachment of darkness energy to the Urshifu right now.
That's a fighting energy.
So not going to go for any like sneaky right hand play. And
wait, did he say?
Have 3 energy attached and do the rapid flow proactively.
Did he say darkness energy?
He's instead going to malevolent charge his Moltres. Get that also developed this turn for a couple energy.
Or maybe he thought there was gonna be a GMAX rapid flow or a what's it called? We could actually just see a boss from Tord as well, right? Tord could just boss KO B barrel or Crobat and then GMAX rapid flow next turn win. Just making the call that Magnus doesn't play Manaphy.
As well, so just taking the one prize, but still, as we say,
I guess that's just as good, right? That's just as good.
Safe to sit in the active position with his Urshifu with basic energy on.
Yeah, that's just as good to just do this, to be honest.
Can score a big knockout here, put himself 2 prizes away, and that's an easy rapid flow KO.
Yeah, I mean, this is the same condition, same win, different map.
Yeah.
Now instead of
has artillery, so now it's like forces Magnus to like have a boss and KO artillery to stop the rapid strike energy, or have a Manaphy that I don't think they play.
And I don't think Tord used the artillery that turn, did he? I think he had the option to get rapid strike energy in his hand for the following turn, but he may just be holding it in case.
Got the Cheryl.
Well,
it shouldn't. It doesn't matter. Like the prize card Tord gets here doesn't matter.
Or potentially it's already just in his hand and he's prepped to go for next turn. But regardless, Magnus, doesn't have an easy map here at all.
No, it's not looking great. Like I say, he's only got 2 prizes remaining, but he's basically got a choice between taking out 2 single prizes or that big free prize Pokemon, and he is playing 3 bosses orders. So there is.
Oh, there's another boss. Okay, he's got another boss, but
you know, boss's orders.
Bossy artillery. Then you know he has the Raihan in hand. Like
his deck is not that small at the moment. Bibarel draws until he got 5.
There's a boss on the artillery. Here comes the retreat. Gale Thrust, and then Tord is gonna play the Raihan and get the knockout on the next turn. Yeah, I think Magnus knows it's coming too. Magnus saw the Raihan. Yeah, Magnus knows. And that's it. Yeah, Tord. Tord is thinking about setting up the optimal thing to send up or not. Raihan, body energy to the active. Not even gonna search the deck, or might search the deck. I don't know why. Rapid strike energy as well. Why not? I thought he had the dark energy in hand. So, all right. Round 1 goes to Tord. Yeah, this is a terrible matchup for Magnus. Has no answers for any of this stuff. And that's it. Tord takes him down in a pretty convincing fashion in that set. And if you guys enjoyed this type of video and you want to see more, I will be posting more on the main YouTube channel here. But the rest of them I'll be posting on the secondary YouTube channel. So check it out. Link in the description. Go to the secondary YouTube channel, AzulGG2, so you can catch all the other action that I reacted to live during the EUIC live stream. And if you want to catch me reacting live to some more of the competition, go check out the live stream, of course, twitch.tv/AzulGG. Link in the description for that as well. First link in the description. Give it a click. Give it a follow. 2 more days of competition to come. If you want to catch it live, go over there. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.